Psychology fact: people with low self-esteem are more likely to criticize others. Chocolate and shopping are more addictive than LSD and steroids. People who have a strong sense of guilt are better at understanding other people's thoughts and feelings. Women generally prefer men with deep husky voices because they seem more confident and less aggressive. Women with higher IQs have a harder time in finding a mate. Women who have mostly male friends stay in a good mood more often. Women have twice as many pain receptors on their bodies than men, but they have a much higher pain tolerance. Men are not funnier than women, they just make more jokes, not caring whether other people like their humor or not. People between the ages of 18 and 33 are the most stressed in the world. After the age of 33, stress levels tend to reduce. Psychology fact: the average high school kid today shows the same level of anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in 1950s. Psychology fact: the average high school kid today shows the same level of anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in 1950s. Psychology fact: the average high school kid today shows the same level of anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in 1950s. Comedians and funny people are more depressed than others. Power makes people care less about others. Fear can feel good, if you're not really in danger. That's why you love horror movies or haunted house adventure. Even though we feel scared, your brain recognizes that you're not in danger and gets a natural high. The way you dress is linked with your mood. So dressing well most often helps in keeping you more stable and happy. Your emotions don't affect the way you communicate. In fact, the opposite is true, the way you communicate influences your mood. Humans tend to care more about one person than about massive tragedies. During a crying sesh, if the first teardrop comes from the right eye, that person is crying tears of joy. If from the left, the person is crying tears of pain. Having a plan B means plan A is less likely to work. The beginning and end of a story are easier to remember than the middle. It takes up to 5 positive things to outweigh one single negative thing. We care about ourselves more than others, which is why the reward part of the brain lights up when we're talking about ourselves. Babies start processing language like adults do as soon as they're 2 days old. Moving their mouths helps babies listen. Babies consolidate memories and new learned skills while they sleep, which is why napping is so important, especially in the first year of their life. We scream out when we are really happy, and our hypothalamus in our brain can't distinguish the difference between good happiness and sorrow. When we sleep, our spinal fluid flows into the skull beyond the blood vessels of the brain. This reduces brain cell waste, a particular accumulation of amyloid beta protein. The fastest supercomputer in the world takes 24 million watts of power to run, but our brains only need 20 watts and operate over 100,000 times faster. Exercise slows the neurological deterioration in our brains, and increased physical exercise will delay our brains aging by 10 years.